Alright, let's see if I can do a nice video. The only noise so far is a bird. It's been over a month since I could take a video, so let's see if I can show you the beautiful growth here this year, and if I can get the camera as the sun's going down to show you everything here. Everything that's big came up from last year. Everything that's tinier and small and green, without flowers yet, is mostly all from the new planting. A lot of stuff might not come up on the other side, it looks, because we had wacky weather. But it did come up here, and it gets about the same amount of sun. Over there I had to replant from the end of April and then again in the second week of May because of snow and rain and sleet and cold, freezing, below freezing temperatures for 4 or 5 days. So everything's behind, and it hasn't been sweltering hot like it normally is. It's actually been a strange year. So I'm not sure on the other side that you'll see where the other flowers are growing good, but all the food is way behind, and the food in my house is way bigger, and it was all started at the same time. Alright, so the little stuff down in here, that's all new. They're wildflowers, so I don't know, but I do recognize some cosmos around in there. If you're not familiar with cosmos, last year I had them, they're great. These guys extended themselves. This is one big plant, and then another 2 bigger plants, and then tiny little guys. Last year they were all just tiny, and I don't know what they are. They spread even to my right, and I'll show you what. You know what I'll do right now? So you can see how awesome this is. And I'm going to show you and explain some of these things. And it's also a day that's finally not having any wind. It's been so windy. And I'm hoping my camera will focus and you can see all these awesomeness. Missing some red poppies there. I was hoping to get them on. It was one of the biggest ones. It made the rest of these, like this one here by the frog, is big, but the other one was way bigger and it was perfectly opened. Alright, so snapdragons this year. Wow, that was like a tiny little thing. Now it's big. The one here, you can see the yellow on the top and it goes to the ground. That one got big. There's one behind it. The gladiolus is popping up. Any balls that you see like this right here, these are poppies, so they'll all go. So there's tons of them. What is a very blue with a slight tinge of purple, but you'll probably see on this video that it looks more purple. I don't know what it is. I tried to check my camera. Every other color comes out the color, but when I go to show mostly blues, they come out to be violet. And these are called forget-me-nots, and they were here last year, and I let them seed. But I'm going to show you to my right and to my extreme right how they got over there somehow. I guess the wind blew it, and they got really huge, and I really wish you could see how bright blue they are. And these are the poppies that are really beautiful. They're kind of on their way out. I tried to get down here yesterday and then 3 days ago when they were all starting to bloom really big and healthy, but I couldn't do it. Too loud, too noisy, too much wind. But here you go here. So gladiolus, that is a lupine. I cut one down, not cut them, but I trimmed them to see if they'll grow back because they said they would. Some people say yay, some people say no. That's pods, so I'll get the seeds from them. That corn on the cob in the back is going to be one of those right there. Really beautiful and awesome. Then over here, some snapdragons in the back that grew. Some more snapdragons. Now you can see the color better here. They're cream colored, like a cream yellow with orange. That's brand new. It's not, I don't know how they did that, but they did that. Usually they're just all white, all yellow, a deep orange with a slight yellow, and those things are staying like that cream color, and they flowered like that. And pink, I'll show you them as well. So that's kind of like a new color that just came up. And then you can see here, so these are yellow, but this one here to the right of it is white, but on the one right behind it is white and yellow, and they're just deep yellows, and they start yellow and they go even deeper yellow, and then in the back is pure white. So these giant ones here are hollyhocks, and last year they were about 1/3 of the size, and they would flower one at a time. This year it looks like those, I'll get you up close on the other side, those balls you see sticking out between the branch and the stem are all going to be flowers, and they look very papery, like this guy here, like the poppy, but it's one. Like, it doesn't have double like this, it's one. So let me show you something. It's one like this, but it goes like from where the poppy is now to about like there. It's like a big huge open trumpet. I'll get back to that in a minute. That thing right there, I have no idea what it is. And there's something next to it that I don't know. They're starting to flower, so it looks like tiny yellow flowers. I don't know what it is. It's the only thing in the whole garden, so I don't know if it is a wildflower all on its own and the rest of them didn't do anything or not. I have no idea, but I'm interested to see it. So that will seed pod, so I'll have tons of that. These white guys came up from last year. Now that the sun went down a little bit, it actually is showing better on the camera. So they came back, and then again, snaps just all over the place coming up, so that's great. I leave some clover down there because the bees love that clover stuff. Another lupine getting going there. Let's see if the camera shows it. Nope, still showing it as that violet. It's actually more of a bright blue. Now these came up this year. One flowered last year. They're a 2-year flower. They come up flowering the second year. So I cut a whole bunch of them down. So these are in the sunflower family. They're called a blanket flower, and they're awesome. And you can clip it. Like this one's probably been up for a week. It'll probably stay another few days healthy. I could clip it and put it in a vase, and it will actually stay almost like that for another few days. Look at the color of that. Now look at the color of this deep one. And then look at this guy over here. It's pretty neat, huh? And this is how they start, like that. So they're all over the place. Usually they don't seem to grow in the wild. I've seen them in the wild. They don't really grow tall like this. They grow maybe a foot or a foot and a half off the ground and in the roundness. So this is growing more like big stalks, but it's awesome. In the back there's sunflowers coming up, but you can't really see them. And over here again, the hollyhock. So last year it was like just the one, but now look. I mean, it's awesome. It's coming out just like online. And these perennials, I think they say they last for anywhere from 3 to 10 years, and they keep coming back. I don't know. I have to clip some of these poppies, as you can see. Once they go down, they don't look too good at all. I was really hoping to catch them. Let me just show you. Some of them look like roses right now. See how they're like that? Awesome. All right, so yeah, these are all gonna flower, I guess, at the same time, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it keeps going and going. This thing right here was way down on the ground about 2 weeks ago. It was about 1.5 feet tall. Now look at this. I'm guessing this is about 4 feet tall right now, at least. So they're all gonna be flowers, and that one was really, really small last year. I don't even know if it flowered, and now so I got double. All right, and then I don't know if I showed you this yet because I can't remember what I just said, but so parsley, tons and tons of parsley down there, growing. I clip and eat as best I can. Some of the neighbors don't ever want any of this stuff, so it's hard to get rid of, and I don't want it to waste. I'm going to start drying it. I'm letting the main stalk go to seeds. It looks like it does what the cilantro does. It goes to seed. It almost looks exactly the same. I'll show you. And now I'll have seeds for that parsley. Hold on, I'm trying not to step on things. So here, this is the cilantro seedings. They were flowers. That's the flower left over. And then they turn into little cilantro balls. You've probably seen that. They call it coriander. And of course my camera is not trying to pick up anything right now. Bizarre. This camera can tune in so perfect sometimes and look crystal clear, and then not at other times. So the parsley seeds are incredibly small, if I remember correctly, but they're growing and they look exactly how these guys do. So they'll probably be similar. Here's a bigger one, so maybe that will come in. Still doesn't want to zoom. Anyway, they're balls and they'll turn brown, and you can ground them as coriander or plant them and it'll grow more cilantro. Some sunflower in the back, and here's a good version of the parsley down there on the other side. You see how much it is? It's just huge. And oops, this one went down. I didn't even see this over here. So that will look nice when all these, look at how many of them are ready to bloom. All those balls are going to be more poppies, and they keep growing and growing. At the end of the year, I let them go out, drop to the ground, and regrow. So these made it through the whole winter. If you watch that video, they never even died. They went through the whole winter. They were smaller, but now they are huge. The violas, those pretty violas. Here's something really cool too. This is didn't do well last year, and then I came this year and I thought, wow, that celery is kind of still alive. It was about 3 inches tall, so it's making nice celery there. And then whatever reason, it just shot up 2 branches, so I left it. And again, it's flowering, so I'll get celery seeds from that as well. I can use them as spice or replant them. This thing keeps going out and then reblooming. They don't last long. I think it's some sort of poppy. That thing will turn into a flower, but it's like a real small, thinner version of a poppy. I think I might have one open to show you. And then there's those orange snapdragons and sunflowers in the back are way behind. But look at that. It's just awesome. So here's another phenomenal thing. Rotten potatoes were like, they were almost rotten and they didn't spud good. I threw them over here just to see. And they did the same thing last year. I didn't even bother digging them up because they never produced flowers. So I figured they'd be dead. So at the end of the year, they looked like they were dead and they were gone. I think even the landscapers might have cut them. And then I came up here about a week ago and I thought, are those potatoes again? So that means there's potatoes in the ground. So this year, whether they flower or not, I'm going to dig around there and see if there's potatoes. Because it happened on the other side too. And I got like 5 huge, beautiful potatoes. Sunflowers and poppies all down in there. Violas and then some more of this. These are gone now because I had to snip them. The wind did some damage mostly. They weren't even really spent, but they'll come all back. And the guys in the middle there are really low. Now over here, again, never didn't plant that this year. They must have got over here. Look at them. So these were on the other side last year where I just came from. I only saw one and it was really, really small, like one little stem, but if it would focus in, they kind of look like a snapdragon, but mini. They have the same shape of the flower and everything, but they're not snapdragons. I think this is a weed. I'm leaving it for now, but I think it's a weed. It kind of snuck in there. I didn't even see it growing. And there's more of them, and then look at that. Again, it should be a bright, beautiful blue, but you're seeing a giant version of it. And look at how healthy the stalks are. Look at the snaps in the back. Last year, it was one tiny plant, like the one to the far right. Now it's like 3 healthy big ones, and then some sunflowers. You might not be able to see, but there's sunflowers here, here, and here. Here's another hollyhock on its way. It's finally starting to grow. Sunflowers, and then these, I don't know what they are, just the wildflower mix. And looks like they're going to do some kind of flower there. More gladiolus. And now that I see it, that weird kind of sage-looking plant might actually be this. Maybe it just grew as a big, strong, healthy plant while all the other ones are growing more individual. I think maybe that's what it is. And that might be a weed again. So sunflower, massive sunflower. It's supposed to be a sunflower. Now keep in a reminder, when you see at the end of this video, when I go outside to show you the front of the building, wait till you see that and those sunflowers compared to out there. All right? And then more wildflowers. I don't know what this is. It's the only one here. It closes up at night. And it doesn't even look like it has those separated leaves. It looks like one solid thing, but it's not. And in the daytime, it comes out like that. And another sunflower. So you see how skinny they are, right? And kind of limp and everything. And then here's the rest. There's those pink ones I was telling you about, and the pink ones. Right there. And let me just show you here real quick what it looks like over here. Hope the camera comes in. It looks nice. Let me show you the other side. So over here, I don't know why, but only a couple little things are growing. And then the sunflowers. I had to do this twice. Lots of weeds keep growing. Nothing else is growing. I just see some minor things. Now it's supposed to be sunflower, delphinium, I think lavender, sunflower, delphinium, lavender, and I forget what else. But I don't know. I don't see anything that looks like delphinium seedlings or anything. I don't know what that guy is. It looks like a sunflower, it just grew a little bit weird. And I see some cosmos. At first I had done wildflowers, but the cold and the frost, so after about 3 weeks, the second week of May, I put down the list that I just said. So who knows what's going to grow, but we'll see what happens, because the sunflowers looked really great last year. Here's another interesting thing. So these are super red romaine lettuce. They were about that tall the whole summer, fall, winter, and everything. This spring they come up. I just leave them there. I'm letting them go to seed to see what it looks like. I've never seen a lettuce flower or go to seed. And then over here, this one. Now, this is what I was just telling you. So I had to redo it, right? So here's a gladiolus bulb that came back up. And since the wildflowers never showed anything after about 3 weeks, and yet they showed on the other side, I planted the sunflowers, the delphinium, the lavender, and whatever else I can't remember. Now it's like all growing. So this should be interesting. Now you notice it grew here, but not in the other section, literally like less than 10 feet. same direction of the sun and everything. So I'm not sure about that. Yeah, so that will be cool. Over here, here's where it gets interesting. I'll show you a long view here. See the difference, how it's not as going. This one here, this, you know, between children and animals and stuff, it's just really hard to keep going. So I'm not sure why they look burnt, but I gotta water it today actually after I make this video. So these are all tomatoes and everything. Everything's non-GMO organic. These seeds actually came from store-bought non-GMO organics that I ate and seeded. And then there, as it goes to peppers. And then I was doing real good. And these Brussels sprouts and these cool eggplant things were going great, but you know, I'll just leave it at that. And a lot of them are gone and stuff. So it also looks like some of the seeds blew and got tripped up by the cat and everything. It looks like some flowers are in here that look like they're also over there, because that was flowers. So some of them got kicked up into here. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what survives, what does and not. Because some of these need 90 to 110 days. So I'm not sure what's going to take place. The mole had come. If you saw the other video, the mole had come. But looks like I was able to tamp it down and get everything survived as best I could. Here's those poppies I was telling you about. So you see how it unfolds like a rose. And this one's like a deep orangey red. And it will open and then close and open and close. And then here's another one. And this whole thing was uprooted by the mole and it still survived. Real interesting. And there's some more of that loop pin stuff. Let me just back out of here for a moment. I got this fly all over me. So here is the super red romaine that came up this year. Just like the one I cut. If you didn't see me, I harvested one. It was about 2.5 times the size of this. And within days it started doing that. So it looks like it's growing again. A little awkward growing, but it's growing. I did this twice too because of what I told you. And now I got everything growing, so we'll see. There's cucumbers, there's lettuce. I didn't think the lettuce would come up because of the heat, but it hasn't been that hot. We get some 90 days and then all of a sudden it's back to 70. And then again, like Brussels sprouts, cucumbers, this is not zucchini, eggplant, stuff like that. Here's an interesting cool flower. Not sure what it is. And then, you know, the same stuff, like I said. And then over here, the mole took a hit on about a week later. He decided to go somewhere else, and I tamped it down, and it seems to be doing all right. So these were pumpkins. The outer layer are pumpkins, and they're not really growing fast. I'll show you the pumpkin upstairs before I shut this video off. And then there's a layer, I think, of watermelon, and then like honeydew and cantaloupe. So we'll see what works and what doesn't. Again, it takes like 100 days, 120 days sometimes. So, you know, this is started in May, maybe the second week of May. Well, I started it at April, then I redid it in May. So it had from May to June, June to July. So that's 2 full months, but these are nothing. Wait till you see my pumpkin upstairs. So they're way behind. So they may not work, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. More blanket flowers. I harvested most of this over here. These were radishes. The cat and dogs and everything did high damage over here. So carrots weren't even planted there, but somehow the soil got all messed up from the cat, and I finally figured out how to keep it away. So carrots, I harvested a ton of radishes. That would be these guys here. Now here's an interesting thing I just knew. This radish here is so little, and let's see, doesn't look like it even has a radish. Sometimes it grows just like a carrot root. It's already starting to flower and put it's going to seed and flower, so that's interesting. I'll leave that. I'll harvest the rest when I can. There were supposed to be onions and carrots here. I don't see anything growing there at all, but the carrots are growing over there. And that one thing in the back where my finger is, that looks like either a sage. Yeah, it looks like sage. It was supposed to be sage and oregano, I think. Maybe that one will be oregano. We'll see. And then some lupine guy over there. Ugh, hold on. So that. Alright, so I told you the wind does some damage. So this plant got ravaged. It had a couple little guys. I'm letting them go to seed. That thing got crushed. crushed by the wind, but it might put up some more, and it will come up every year. And then over there, that grew on its own. I guess it got over there somehow, that forget-me-not. This got messed up by the mole, but I was able to do it, and I think this was sage and maybe oregano or rosemary. I don't know. This is a weed. So I don't know what this is, so maybe this is what rosemary looks like. I think that's what it is. I know that's sage, I can tell by the leaves. And over here, forget-me-nots came up. Some of the flowers, the mold did damage here, but these were bloomed perfectly. You would have saw them, it would have been so beautiful. I forget the colors of that, but that was the yellow and orangey one, and it was nice. I think they were white. That was really, really, really nice. But they got spent from, I gotta clip this one, from the wind and just being out too long. So that will go back again soon. And then these guys aren't doing that well again. They were awesome when they first came up, but when they die, they don't die in like collaboration, I guess. So this thing's dying, as you can see, some of the leaves, but then some of them are still wide open. I'm hoping my camera will show you. Man, come on, camera. But now in the middle, more are coming out. And yet as they die. And they say you can clip them. I'll try to show you something if I see it. All right, so there was a top bloom here, and then it started to bloom out these side branches here, like on little blooms on the branch. But they say when it's spent, you can cut it and it will regrow, and I'll show you. So sometimes I don't want to cut it because all of a sudden I see them popping up. It may only be a tiny little thing like that, or a larger one like that, or even larger like that. So I let them go, but they don't look as pretty now because as you see the dead part, the live part, the dead part, and then new ones coming right in there that are ready to flower. See if I can get a good showing of something here that I cut so you can see. All right, so I cut this one down to the ground almost, and as you can see, it made those two branches, so this one and that one. And they're supposed to get there, so by probably in another month they'll be full grown again, and they'll look like this. And they are Sweet Williams, by the way. So doesn't look the greatest now, but when they were full bloom, man, it was so beautiful. So here's right around the corner of the garden, the more bushy part that's growing. Now we used to have these on our side too, and like I came home one day on a weekend or something, they were all gone. The bushes, everything were ripped up. Nobody said a word. But we had so many different management at this place. I think these might be considered tulips or something. I don't know what they are. Lilies, tulips. Anyway, they look great and beautiful when they grow straight up and tall. So since we didn't have any, and I'll show you real quick. So on that far side, you might not be able to see them, but they're coming down this way, and then where I'm standing, and my place is right here. And then there's the other section I'm going to show you in a moment that I did. So they took them all out of our place. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do something about this. So here is the driveway. Hey, what's up, Julia? So this is from the driveway where I'm building. You're going to see a difference in this. So look at the sunflowers here. Look at how tall. Look at how lush and bushy. And look at how thick these are compared to the flimsy ones. My only guess is that it gets a lot of sun, a lot of shade, a lot of sun, a lot of shade, and the other ones get shade and then tons of sun. And although they're supposed to get 6+ hours, so I'm not sure why, but same soil and same everything, it's just awesome. And let's see here, there's snapdragons pink over there that are spent. I gotta cut some of them, they'll come back. And the white guys and some more of this. Let me show you that guy. Doesn't show that well. I gotta go before this camera runs out soon. Hope you're still watching. All right, so it's a yellowy orange on one of those kind of tulip, not tulips, poppy kind of thing. And then over here, more of those white guys, and these really cool color red snapdragons. So yeah, that's cool. And then there's the view of that. All right, so you see the difference here? There's these electric boxes, and they've been here for like 2.5 weeks. They're probably gonna put them in where I see the old ones just behind us. So they've been blocking the sun, as you can tell. And these are nowhere as near as big. They're maybe half the size or less, a third to a half the size. but you can see some of the stuff is coming up. Some of the stuff looks nice. And the wildflower things over there. This plant got destroyed, and I'm trying to, twice somebody ripped it out, like playing a joke, I guess, or something, I don't know. So I planted it again and watered it, and I gotta water it. I gotta go through the watering after this to see if it will come back. Snapdragons are pretty good like that, so we'll see. We'll see. But it should look awesome once the sunflowers, there's 3-foot suns, 5 to 6 foot suns, and then 8 to 12 foot mammoth ones. So even if there's only like one of each amongst the wildflowers and the snapdragons here are healthy, but they all got spent. And I think they were like that reddish purpley kind. So when they grow back again and then everything's tall, it'd be really awesome to come in here and see the, as you come in and out of the driveway. And I'll just give you a mountain sight. Right now the sun's setting, so the clouds have the shade on it, and then the bottom is shaded, and in the middle, you might not be able to pick up on it, but it's like an orangey glow. They call it alpenglow. I don't know what the word alpenglow actually means, but sometimes the whole mountain will be shaded in a glowing yellow or an orange or an orangey red, and sometimes in a violety purple. It's absolutely awesome. Very difficult to get on a camera though to show the true colors. And some wildflowers that are taking their time. This is the section that barely gets sun. Depending on the section on this side, it could be like 2 to 3.5 hours, and maybe. Over here though, they still do good on this one. The beautiful snapdragons are looking really, really good there, and the wildflowers are looking good. Let me just kind of stop it for a second, and then you can see it. So that should look neat. And then over there, these guys are huge. It grew outside the box, like literally. Hey, think outside the box. Look at this. I mean, technically it's still in the box, but this guy here, it's growing outwards. That's that lupine thing, and as you can see here, it's just started on the top. It's beautiful purple and white. Some of them are more bluish white, as you can see left over from here. And then the pods on the seed. Oh, and here, new ones down in there growing. So this is a good, beautiful bushy plant. And this side here, some wildflowers and a snap that's trying to come back towards the back. And 2 of the gladiolus came back on this side. There was one to the right, but it hasn't come up. I haven't even seen it come up. And then this guy got damaged by the wind, as you can tell, but it still was able to pod and flower, and it should come back up next year, hopefully stronger, and I'll have tons of seeds as well. And there she is, the garden. Not bad, huh? That section all to the middle and then all the way to the left is absolutely awesome. And let me just show you the pumpkin, just so you get an idea of the difference. All right, so the sun is setting now, so it's close to 9 o'clock maybe. So here's the pumpkin. Look at that. White flies are on it. I'm just so sick and tired of them, so I'm just leaving it. These things grow huge. They grow out to about here. Here, you can go see that one starting to go. Now, there's a male and a female, so I haven't seen anybody pollinating, but they come to my snapdragon, so I'm hoping they'll go in there, and I just don't see them. But I took a finger, and I rubbed my finger in it, touched another inside of a flower, and then retouched the other one, and touched another one. So if not, they'll just keep growing this with flowers, and there will be a vine without any pumpkin, because they have to pollinate the male and female flower. But I noticed this week that it grew out that new guy over there. So see the difference? And they were at the same time, and they're huge compared to the pumpkins I showed you down there. Alright, that's it. So it's a long video. I hope this thing actually showed some good focus so you can see it, because I don't know if I'll make another video or not. It depends on if it's going to be quiet around here and the weather cooperates. If not, I'll just have to take pictures or something. Alright, lots of love to you all. Bye bye.